I'm Jennifer Eagan. I'm the president of the California Faculty Association that represents the faculty in the California State University system, and I'm a professor of philosophy and public affairs and administration from Cal State East Bay. How I got involved in the union was looking for a platform for faculty power that really spoke truth to the administration and really spoke to the ways in which faculty care about the experience of our students. Unions are about bread and butter for their members, which is certainly true, but our faculty union, I think, was really concerned with protecting our profession, and that means protecting teaching and research. And whenever you're protecting teaching and research, you're really ultimately protecting the experience of students. So as we had seen in the 90s and aughts, higher education changing a little bit, working conditions for faculty getting worse, class sizes increasing, teaching loads increasing, and demands for research and criteria for tenure and promotion increasing. We saw the toll it was taking on the faculty and the toll that it took on the students. And I had worked in faculty senates. I was a chair of committees and worked on curriculum and programs. And all those things were great. Ultimately, all of those decisions that faculty made required the signature of a president. And in the union, you get to be a little bit of an outsider inside your own campus. You get to talk about things that are of concern to faculty, things that are of concern to students in a way that isn't contingent on other decision makers. So in our union, we talk about things like reducing and rolling back student fees. We talk about things like student debt. And that might not seem to have that much to do with teaching or faculty working conditions, but ultimately it does matter. We're there for our students. If our students are laboring under high fees and incurring a lot of debt and they're worried about that and that's affecting their work, then that affects us. Similarly, for faculty, if they're under siege, not being able to really say what they want to say in the classroom because they're afraid they're not going to get tenure or they're not going to get their next contract, then that's important for students as well. That means that they're losing out. So it became clear to me that having the faculty union was probably the best platform to talk about some of the issues I really wanted to talk about and to protect the things I really wanted to protect. The collective bargaining agreement creates a floor and a minimum that every faculty member will get. And some of those things aren't quantifiable. So if we're talking about intellectual property protections, every faculty member, tenure line contingent, whether you're teaching one class, 5 classes, everyone has exactly those same protections. And then some of the benefits in the collective bargaining agreement are quantifiable and they're distributed differently, like salary, and that makes sense. But as the contract goes, the object is to increase salary and working conditions for all faculty members wherever they are, and to create really significant protections for faculty that'll make sure that they're not treated arbitrarily. One of the things we just negotiated in our last contract was a specific pool of assigned time for faculty, a specific pool of release time for faculty who do extraordinary service related to students. And our justification for securing that in the contract was primarily for a faculty of color and LGBT faculty incurring what we called a cultural tax. Right? If we don't have a diverse enough faculty to serve our diverse students, then it means that each of those faculty members has an increased mentorship load. They're caring about our students in a way that not all faculty can. So we secured this pool of release time for faculty to be able to apply for and have faculty make the decision on who gets those awards. And it is to release that certain kind of burden on our faculty of color who do perform special service for our students of color. And it is also a workload issue for those faculty. So we're really proud to be able to do things like that and put things like that in our contract that isn't just good for our faculty members, it's also good for students. One of the misconceptions of unions is that, or faculty unions, is that they pay special attention to contingent faculty. There might be some reason for that because contingent faculty are deeply overworked and underpaid. But it is in all of our interests to protect contingent faculty and to increase their professional profile, their wages, and their working status. They are ultimately part of our profession. We all teach the same students. Protecting their wages and benefits actually becomes a disincentive to continue hiring contingent faculty. Ultimately, one of our goals is to increase tenure density because ultimately we think that creates the best working conditions for faculty and the best learning conditions for students. But in order to do that, we need to protect contingent faculty to make sure that we're making the case for educational quality all the way along. We work together on a lot of things. One of the things that we've been working on is making sure that contingent faculty, to the greatest extent possible, are paid for the work that they do. We are professionals. We have a profession that we really care about. We don't clock in and clock out. It's really important. We know we have contingent faculty who work on curriculum, they work on course development, they mentor students, they write letters of recommendation for graduate schools. We know they're doing a lot of the same work that the tenure line faculty are doing, and we want to make sure they're compensated for that work, that both honors their professional status and also protects our students. We want all of our faculty to be able to provide that. Unions are a way for faculty to exercise one voice and to exercise some power over their working conditions. It's not magic. It doesn't get us absolutely everything under the sun. It does enhance faculty power. One of my favorite misconceptions, our administrators still try to use it, even though we have a really good collective bargaining agreement and it's pretty clear that this isn't the case. Sometimes individual faculty members, if they're trying to, say, negotiate a starting salary for an assistant professor or increase the salary for a lecturer faculty coming under a new contract, they like to say things like, I would love to pay you more, but the collective bargaining agreement won't let me. And every single time they say that, it's not true, but it definitely, has the purpose for them of getting to disavow their own choices and their own administrative control that they still have.